If you want to find the max of the array, first you're going to import the stack class, then you're going to make a stack and you're going to push some stuff on the stack. Doesn't really matter what it is, whatever. The thing about a stack class versus a queue class is that queue is actually not in one of the base import libraries for reasons that are unclear to me, but stacks are. So before I started coding it, I remembered what we had to do when we were doing an array. So if we had an array and we had a string, then what we would have done is we would have made a variable that would hold the maximum, and then we would loop through the array, and that at each element we would compare what was in the array to the maximum, and if the thing that's in the array is bigger than the maximum, then what we want to do is we're going to remember it. And then that, by the time we're finished the array, we'll store the maximum. So what we're going to do with our stack is we're going to make a temporary stack to kind of hold our rejects as we're going through. We'll make a variable just like we did for the array code. Then the kind of loop that we use with a stack is we're going to go while not s.empty. That's kind of the corresponding one. Then what we're going to do is I peeked at the top of the stack and I remembered it in a variable called temp. And that's going to allow me to go if temp.compare to max. So that's the same situation here. So if the top of the stack or the array element is bigger than the maximum, then I want to remember it. Then what I did is I popped the top of the stack and I pushed it over on T so that I would be able to move to the next thing in the stack. So by the time this loop is finished, we'll have gone through the entire stack S. It'll be stored in T currently, and we'll also know what the maximum is. So I'll print out the maximum because I will have looked at each thing as I've been through. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop everything off of T and put it back in S so that the stack is all there and still ready to use. And that is the code for finding a maximum in a stack. So when you run it, there you go. In my stack I had those things, and indeed it found that the maximum is zebra.